Alright everyone, so in this video I am going to show you how to do a 2-point perspective drawing. So you're going to need your paper, a pencil, and of course a nice ruler so that way you can make some straight perspective lines. Okay, so remember this is a 2-point perspective drawing. So as always, the first thing that we need to do when we do perspective drawings is our horizon line, which is a line that goes from left to right across your paper. Doesn't matter where it is along the sides of your paper, so long as it goes from left to right. So make sure you use a ruler, so that way you have a nice straight ruler. Make sure your hand is positioned in the middle of your ruler and that you have enough pressure that it doesn't wiggle your ruler when you draw your line with your pencil. Okay, so now that we have our line, I am going to add in my points. I have 2 points because this is 2-point perspective. So these 2 points are going to go on either side of my horizon line. One on the left side and one on the right side. Okay, remember these are our vanishing points. So that means everything is going to be vanishing into these 2 points. Okay, so I'm going to start off by drawing a shape. And this part of the video is sped up, so that way it kind of goes through the process. Find all our corners, connect all of our corners to our vanishing point here on the right side. Make sure you use your ruler. And the reason why we use our ruler is so that way our lines are nice and straight, and then we know for a fact that it does completely vanish into that point. Okay, so I've connected all 4 of my points now. Right, so since this is the face of my shape, I'm going to go ahead and erase the perspective line that goes through it, and that's here on the outside. Then I'm going to make a parallel line here to the right side of my shape and the top side of my shape. So looking at this, we kind of see that it vanishes into this one point here, but it doesn't exactly vanish into the second point on the left side. So this actually is not 2-point perspective. So this is actually 1-point perspective. So we know that it's 1 point because we see a flat surface. This one flat surface means that it is vanishing into 1 point. In order for it to be 2-point perspective, we are going to start with a line, not a shape. Okay, so this line, if you notice, we're going to take this line and connect this top and bottom of this line to both sides, both vanishing points. So on the right and on the left. And so make sure that when we do connect it that we do use our ruler. Please, 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 I cannot stress how important it is for you to use your ruler. Okay, so we're connecting the top to both vanishing points, the right and the left side, and now we're going to connect the bottom. Okay, remember it is 2-point, so it has to connect to both points. Both points. Okay, and here's the bottom. Alright, so now that we have our lines connected to both points, the reason why we have a line is because when we have a 2-point perspective, we're actually looking at the corner. So think of it as you're standing in a street and you're looking at the building from the corner. You see both sides of the street, so the right side and the left side. So that's why we start off with this line instead of a shape. But just like we did with our first one, we're going to draw our parallel line on the right side. So we're going to draw a parallel line to the right of our first line. Okay, again, make sure it's nice and straight, that it doesn't angle, doesn't curve. You want it to be as straight as possible. Otherwise, what's going to end up happening is your shape's going to look weird. Okay, so now that we have this parallel line, what we want to do is make sure that we connect both the top and the bottom of this line to each point on the right and on the left. Okay, so you notice it's already pretty much connected to this right side. So we now need to connect it to the left side. So again, using your ruler, connect the top and the bottom of your line to the left side. Okay, And so since this is the surface, this is a flat surface of our building or our shape, we're going to erase what's on the inside. So we'll erase this perspective line. Okay, and so since we did this on the right side with our parallel line, we're going to do another parallel line on the left side. Again, make sure it's nice and straight, not curved, and then now we're going to connect the top and the bottom to both vanishing points. So connecting it to the right and connecting it to the right again, just on the bottom. And then of course the left side's already connected, we don't have to connect it again. We're going to go ahead and erase the inside perspective line because technically those lines are behind. Okay, they are behind your shape, behind your form, so we don't see them. So here we have our right side of our shape and then the left side. Okay, and then it's a little hard to see it because of the way I drew it, but we can actually see the top because it is below our horizon line. So here we have the top surface of our three-dimensional shape. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to darken my lines just so you can kind of see it. Okay, it's teeny tiny, but it's there. And then I went ahead and I added in some value so that way you can see more or less the different sides, the different surfaces. Okay, and there we go. Right, so this is 2-point perspective. So that means the sides connect to both vanishing points. So this first one that I drew was not 2-point perspective. This was 1-point perspective. And so the 1 point means that it vanishes into one of the points, just one. 2-point means it vanishes into both. Okay, so I'm going to draw a second one here that goes above the horizon line. So again, connecting to both points. So to the right point and to the left point. Remember, vanishing points. That means all of your edges, all of your lines vanish into that 1 point. So it basically means that they all connect to that 1 point. So 2-point perspective, there's a lot of lines. So just make sure when you're drawing your 2-point perspective that you're aware of what lines you are using and which ones you're not. So my drawing actually has a lot of lines going on. So just make sure that you keep track of your lines. So here I drew my parallel line and I just went ahead and I connected the top and the bottom to the other side, to the other vanishing point on the left side there. Now here's where I erased for my surface. Now I'm going to do the parallel line here on the left side. And since it's already parallel to the left point there, I'm going to parallel it to the right point here. Okay, and then of course, this is my surface, so I'm just going to erase everything that's here on the inside. Again, make sure that when you do make these perspective lines that you draw light enough that you're able to erase them, but also dark enough that you can see it. So here's our right side and our left side. Okay, and again, since this shape goes above our horizon line, we technically cannot see that top surface. We cannot see it. Okay, but this first one, we are able to see it because it is below our horizon line. Okay, and then of course, just like every other drawing, if you've got all these extra little lines, little details that you need to erase, just make sure that you go ahead and clean up your drawing, erase the lines that you don't need. Again, I had to draw fairly hard so that way everyone could see the lines that I was making, but please make sure that when you draw that you draw nice and light so you can erase it. So, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and enjoy. Thank you.